And welcome to the Friday Focus, where we'll look back over a tight win for the Staggs Bar Monarchs against the Newcastle Diamonds. Graham, it was a nip and tuck evening, but the Monarchs prevailed in that last heat.
We got there in the end, a captain's ride by Eric in heat 15, I think you would call it, not once but twice, off into battle from the back. And it's a narrow win, but it doesn't matter if you win by 1 or win by 30, it's 3 points on the board in the league. It
was another nail biter, 42 all going into that final heat. We needed the guys to step up, our big hitters.
Yeah. Definitely, and I suppose that's where we had the advantage on meeting. You know, Newcastle will be going down the road probably a little bit disappointed. If you look at 1 and 5, Lundgren and Arnio I think got 4, maybe 5 between them. For our guys, Eric had 14, Ricky had double figures as well, and that's where the difference was.
Of course, Newcastle came here with a solid side. We knew they were going to be solid scorers all the way out, all the way through their side. That's how it proved to be. And the Monarchs actually did well to kind of get this one out there. There's still a few riders struggling in there, but we've seen it out and got 3 points in the board.
We got that. I put that obviously in the website preview this week, and actually, from a Newcastle point of view, this is probably the track they want to come to most. When you look at their lineup, obviously they've not taken a point away from home so far this season. Before tonight, they got the point tonight. But you look at the likes of Matty Weathers at reserve, Ashley Morris likes to place. Normally Lundgren's fantastic round here. Coos always throws a lap in. Well, you know, we know the Newcastle lineup and they're all good round here. But yeah, we got there in the end. Are we fantastically happy? Probably not. There's still a few worrying signs in there, and the Monarchs need to improve if we want to be playoff contenders. But at the end of the season, nobody will look back and say this or the other. It's 3 points, as I said earlier on the board. We move off the bottom of the table, and it's upwards and onwards.
Shuffling the kind of riding order this week, Graham. We've seen Mark go to number 4 last week against Workington. He was at 4 this week again. We've seen Josh move from 7 to 3, and Max drop into the reserve berth there. How would you assess really how the guys did in their changes in the lineup? I mean, Josh getting in at that heat leader role was always going to be tough, but we're kind of expecting more from Max down there, aren't we?
I think so. I mean, I think Josh can be happy with his night's work. It was first meeting in the main body of the team this season. Josh has always said he doesn't actually really look at or care who he's up against. He'll give it a go. And 7 points, and his heat win was the fastest time of the night, showing what we always say, you know, how fast Josh is when he hits the front. 7 points. If he scores that every night in the main body of the team, we'll be laughing. Mark, he still needs to get rid of these faults. You know, he seems to pull one out every couple of meetings. Maybe a wee bit unlucky. He had to come in fast. That corner ends up coming down. But Max, we need more from Max. This is when you start wanting to see progression. And again, I'm not going to sit here and slight anyone. I'm just giving an honest opinion. I'm not seeing that for Max just now. That was a new engine, I believe he was on tonight, an old Ricky Wells engine. So whether maybe he just needs to do a little bit of work to that, get it tuned in. But 3 points, but from memory, 2 of them were pretty much gift points. And we Cody having a poor night as well. You know, we can't afford to be getting 3 points at reserve. Okay, Newcastle have got one off, if not the strongest reserve pair in the league, particularly here. But 3 points isn't going to cut it.
As Josh said, he just sees other people he's racing against. But do you think that's more a psychological thing for Josh? I mean, we know it's tougher at number 3. You come up against the number 1s. We don't necessarily do that from reserve unless you're put into a different heat. But do you think that's a psychological thing for him, that it's just another rider I've got to beat?
I think so. I mean, I spoke to him a few weeks ago. I think we were at Glasgow. And he says, you know, in the past he's looked at the heat before and psyched himself up and says, right, I need to beat this guy. I'll do well if I beat this guy. Now he's just going there saying, right, it's a race. I'm as good as anyone in this race. Let's see what I can do. And weirdly, his score line tonight, actually his worst race was potentially the easiest one for the number 3. It was heat 12. But you know, his heat before, when he romped to victory, you know, it showed what he can do. And I'm not too concerned with Josh moving into the main body of the team. I don't think it'll affect him. You know, you see some of those riders that pile on double figures, home and away at reserve, move up into the main body of the team, and it looks like a different rider. I think Josh is a kind of laid-back character that won't affect too much.
Of course, one rider who is showing signs of progression is a Swedish rider who is maintaining his role in the main body of the side. Rider in the night this evening, and we're going to hear from him now.
Joined on the Friday Focus by Monarch of the Match, Joel Andersson. Joe, 2 heat wins for yourself and a win for the team. A good night's work.
Yeah, I felt really good today. Like after my first one was pretty bad, but made some changes and I just felt completely different on the bike today, so it was really nice. And
did you put that down to anything in particular? Was it just the bike was working better, or was it a change in demeanour from yourself? Or?
It was both, actually. I did some changes on the bike, so the bike was much smoother on the track and made me more comfortable on the bike. And after my first one, I just got my head into it, like, I'm gonna win next one. I need to win next one.
And starting to get a few more rides. You're back in Sweden and Poland now. Is that helping you as well? Do you feel sharper on the track?
Not really, because it's been going really bad in both Poland and Sweden. So it was really nice to have some heat wins today and just score some points and have some heat wins to get my confidence up again.
You mentioned that there, so I mean, are you starting to get the confidence going here? Obviously, Armadale probably unlike anything you've ever ridden before when you came over at the start of the season. Do you feel dialed in now? Are you comfortable around Armadale?
Yeah, starting to, like, because as you said, it's really different, like from what I'm used to racing in Sweden, because we only have like big, nice tracks, you know. So, and it's a really fun track to race on, but you need to be really determined to race the track. If you like hesitate into the corners, you're just gonna miss the corner and mess up. So it's starting to get much better.
And it was a big win for the Monarchs tonight. Obviously, we scraped home a little bit, 46-44 in the end, but you know, we've not had many meetings so far where we're starting to slip down towards the bottom end of the table. So we need to get those meetings in hand, get the wins on the board, and get back up towards the playoff positions.
Yeah, like because we've just been having a bad time like lately. So, but I think we're getting there. Like I'm starting to get my speed up, and everyone is just starting to get better. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be really good.
And the spirit in the camp still strong. Everyone's still having a good time together.
Yeah, we do have a really good bond in the team, and it's so much fun to just come to the meetings and have a chat with everyone. So that's a really good thing for us, I think.
And a busy weekend ahead the rest of the way. We're at Berwick on Saturday night and then Newcastle on Sunday. Obviously, two completely new tracks yourself. Have you been talking to the guys about what to expect?
Yeah, not really, but I've been to Berwick and watched a meeting there, and so I know a little bit how to race the track. But Newcastle, I have no idea how it even looks like. So it's gonna be difficult, I think. But I just need to get my mind into it and just full throttle. You know.
Perfect. Well done for tonight, and all the best for the rest of the weekend, Joel.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Graham, you spoke to Joel there. Joel was absolutely fantastic. I was in the pits after his first ride, and he wasn't a happy camper at that point. He looked to be down on himself, and if I'm being brutally honest, after seeing him in the pits at that point, to then turn into the performance that he put in, I'm absolutely delighted for him. And he is now showing signs of development, of getting used to British Speedway, and especially around his home track here. He appears to be getting harder into the first corner as well, and it appears to be working for him.
Definitely, you know, Joel's a very demonstrative character. You see it after every race. You wouldn't even need to know what position he came. You just look at Joel to know what position he came. If you know what I mean? You know, if he wins, he's punching the air. If he's last, you can see him and sometimes even hear him shouting at himself. But he's turned it around, and tonight that was as impressive as I've seen Joel. 2 heat wins, and particularly, I think it was the second one, heat 8. That was a tough Diamonds lineup. He made the trap, but the Diamonds were right with him. And you're right. My criticism of Joel in the past so far this season is he's been a little bit tentative in the first bends. There was none of that tonight. He kept it wound on, and he got his rewards. Paid 8, 2 heat wins, and we heard from him there. You know, a happy character, and here's hoping that's a good thing to come and signs to come for the rest of the season, because the Monarchs do need it. You know, we need all 7 guys firing.
We've seen in the press this week Alec Carcass talking about the team. He was fairly critical. He was a bit scathing, maybe perhaps. I wouldn't say it was overly harsh, it's probably just bluntly honest. Do you think that lit a fire in a couple of the riders tonight if they had read that?
I mean, it's always hard to tell, isn't it? And I think every rider's different. Some of the kind that would use that as a spur, you know, use the old football analogy, pinning it on the dressing room wall. Others might go into their shells a little bit. But you're right. I mean, when I read it, I can't say I disagreed with anything he says. And knowing these guys the way that we do, you know, we speak to them week in, week out. These guys know what they need to be doing as well. They're not happy when they're not scoring. They're always looking for improvements. You know, you'll speak to, and obviously none of the criticism was really aimed at Ricky, but you'll speak to Ricky, and if he gets 12, he's not happy because it should have been 15. Ferret gets 14, he's not happy because it should have been 15, and that's the way these guys are. So, yeah, for some of them, they might have thought, right, you know, particularly when, you know, let's be honest, you know, a lot of teams have made changes. Potentially, there's always the threat in any Speedway team at any point in the season of changes. So these guys will be starting to think, right, obviously we've seen Matt step down and Cody come in on a short-term basis. Cody's kind of on a meeting by meeting. So these guys know they need to start performing.
It's pressure, but I think what you want is a team that thrives on pressure.
Yeah, definitely. Winners thrive on pressure, don't they? When it comes down to the end of the season, the big heats, you know, the kind of guys that are going to cave because they're getting a little bit of criticism in a newspaper aren't the kind of guys that are going to be winning Heat 15 deciders.
It was a strange kind of night for the captain, Eric, in there, kind of up and down evening, so to speak, for himself. Looked to be pretty lucky from the footage that I've seen for the 5-1. Sorry, I say the 5-1 for Newcastle, the 4-2 for Newcastle when he was off 15 metres. But we're going to see that heat now. It was a fantastic heat of the night. Anyway, but again, it's just it kind of typifies Eric, that never say die attitude. Right throughout that heat, and he was gaining. He was moving in the end.
That's it. I mean, he was gaining all the time, and actually, I think the Diamonds will probably be a bit annoyed with themselves in that one. Robson and Lundgren seem to be chasing the same bit of track, but Eric was right there to take advantage, according to the referee. And I spoke to Eric after the match and asked him, you know, because it looked like, I mean, he let that Koch go story when I asked him if it was a mechanical issue, and his exact words were, no, I think the rules say I'm allowed to anticipate it, I just anticipated it too much. But what an effort he made to get back, and we've seen, you know, Eric battled all night, heat 15, as we mentioned earlier on, twice coming from the back and both run-ins off the race to take the victory and prepare us for victory, and that's what a captain does, you know.
Yep, and we can see the race of the night now.
As we move on to heat number 10 now. Joel Andersson off of blue in gate 1. Joel coming off the back of 2 fantastic heat wins so far. Ashley Morris in yellow lines up next to the Swede in gate number 2. Unbeaten Ricky Wells in gate 3. And Matty Kuss off the outside in white in gate number 4. Ian Meikle just moving Matty Kuss over a little bit there. The Czech not overly happy by the looks of things. But he's made a fantastic jump out of 4 as Ricky's the meat in the sandwich. Ricky cuts back to the inside though and moves up into second, past Joel Andersson as well. So it's Matty Kuss in the front, Ricky Wells second, Joel Andersson third, and Ashley Morris at the back. Kuss always seems to have one ride in his locker every night, and he's got up quite a lead there. Ricky's going to have to do something here should he get past, sticking to the outside line. As Kuss has a lead as they go into the third lap. Ricky now moves to the inside. Can he get the drive off the bend? It certainly got closer. I think he'll stick to the inside here. And of course he proves me wrong by moving right to the outside again. Kuss blocks the move well as we go into the final lap. Ricky with work to do if he wants to maintain his maximum. Does he have the drive here? Not quite. Big line required as Ricky keeps it tight. Will he get the drive coming off the bend as Kuss swings out? No, he won't. Excellent ride by Matty Kuss there to hold off Wells. Wells has been the meat in the sandwich at the start, did well to battle back into second, but Kuss can be happy with that, as he normally does on a night at Armadale, as he throws one heat off note in, it'd be in that race there. So a 3-all, Matty Kuss taking the win, maintaining a 6-point lead for the Edinburgh Monarchs.
Great heat, as we said. Of course, it's a busy week for the Monarchs, a big week as well for the club. Of course, we travel to Berwick tomorrow evening, or tonight if you're watching on Saturday morning, and then we travel to Newcastle on Sunday. And of course, next week's our massive Platinum Jubilee meeting. We hope to see a massive crowd involved for that one, Graham. But first of all, it's important action for the Monarchs. Another chance again at Berwick to kind of, we know this Championship Shield is beyond us to qualify, but the guys have got to show a big performance down there as well. And of course, with the upcoming cup tie, it's good track time.
That's exactly it for me. For me, tomorrow night's a scouting mission, is what I would call it. You know, Joel's never ridden the place. He says he's been down once to see Max. Has he been involved in any of their meetings? I know he's been there. He was enjoying the hospitality at the British Under-21 final. So they've seen the track, but they've not ridden it. So it's new to both of them. For the rest of the guys, test setup. Sure, we know that the Berwick track's changed a little bit. The work that Scott Courtney and Gary and everyone that's involved down there are doing. They've changed the track a little bit, so it'll be good just to get on there. You know, if we win tomorrow night, great. If we don't, you know, as long as everyone comes out fully fit and with the bikes intact for Sunday, because we all know that Championship's done, Keogh Cup and League are what matters.
Exactly. And of course, one rider we're actually going to see a lot of, who was fantastic down here tonight, is Matty Weathers, because he is guesting for Berwick tomorrow evening in place of Theo Piper, who is racing in the long track. Just a quick word on Matty. He's rolled back the years since at times round this white line. There's nobody like him.
There's nobody like him, and you sometimes, you know, when he does it for you, when he did it all those years for us, it's great. When he does it against you, you sometimes think, come on, guy, like, you know where he's going every time. No offence, mate, I had a great night. Was it 11 or paid 11, something like that? Great night by Matty. But sometimes you think, maybe that's the trouble. Maybe these guys don't look at who they're racing. Sometimes it might be better they just had it on and think to themselves, right, I don't need to worry too much about the outside line. Let's keep it down. But it's great to see Matty. He had a year out of sport. He's had a tough couple of years. A likeable guy, the only guy ever to win 3 league titles with the Monarchs. And it was good to see him back tonight. Would have preferred if he'd scored 4 or 5 and would have won by 10, of course I would have. But, you know, fair play, and it's good to see Matty.
Of course, as we say, we'll see him a lot over the next couple of nights down at Berwick and Newcastle. We hope to see a lot of blue and gold following the Monarchs over the weekend, and if so, we'll see you then. But until then, good night.
All right.